Hi, guys.
Hey.
So welcome to this episode of Healing Broken Trust podcast. I'm Morgan Robinson.
And I am Brad Robinson.
And we are going live on our Facebook page as well as talking with you guys on our podcast simultaneously. And it's like crazy.
You can see that we're a good-looking couple. And we're only good-looking because of Morgan. I make it a couple.
It's really funny. Oh, that's why I love this guy. He always makes me feel good. So today we're talking about 2 practical tips for getting out of the negative cycle, right, Brad?
Yes.
You want to take it away and tell us all about that?
Yeah. Okay. This is going to be really short today. Some of you guys like our longer episodes. Some of you guys like our shorter episodes. So this is going to be for the shorter folks who like our shorter episodes. But basically, I had a couple I worked with recently, and they said something really profound. What they were talking about was really brilliant and really profound. And I thought, you know what, this has a wider application for everybody that is listening to this, that is going to be watching this video. And it's really what they were saying is basically the withdrawer asked, how do we get out of this negative cycle? And in typical therapy fashion, I like to give my opinion. Obviously, you guys are, part of this because I like to give my opinion. However, I always like to defer to the spouse first because they usually have the best answer. And so what happened was she said, and this is somebody who's been betrayed, hurt deeply, great couple, really like them a lot. And she said, when I get hurt and I've got these PTSD symptoms that I'm working through, I need you to, number one, I need you to know that you care. I need you to keep being vulnerable and show me that you care. I need the vulnerable side of you and I need to see your heart through your emotions. And he's been doing that. He's been honest. He's been showing his tender side, his vulnerable side, letting her into his inner emotional world. And she said, when I get really frustrated and, when I get triggered and the trauma hits me all of a sudden, what I need from you is I need you to just grab me. And I need you to figuratively shake me and say to me, stop, just let me hold you right now. And also I need you to say, I want you here. I need you here. Don't go off. Don't attack me anymore. Let's figure this out. And she said, I also need you not to take no as an answer. And I thought that was really profound. So I'm going to say that again. She said, keep being vulnerable, keep letting me know that you care for me emotionally. And I can see your tender side and your vulnerability.
You need to see your heart through your emotions.
Yeah, your heart through your emotions, because I believe USU is more genuine. You've been honest, but keep being honest. And she said, I need you when I get triggered, maybe we start getting into a negative cycle because of post-traumatic stress disorder symptoms, and I get really, angry or I get really frustrated. She said, I need you to be assertive, and I need you to just kind of grab me and figuratively shake me, just figuratively do it, not literally shake me, and say, stop, just let me hold you. I want you here. I need you here. And don't take no for an answer. And just be assertive. That can be hard to do when somebody's, when there's PTSD symptoms. Usually the avoider, the withdrawer, they're not very good at being assertive. They hate conflict, but lean in, step forward, lean in, and that will help. Because the pursuer, even in their craziness, when they're, a mess because they've been betrayed and they've got these, PTSD symptoms, what they're wanting is for us to just lean into them. And that was something that happened this morning where you were talking about, I'm apparently really bad at laundry. And Morgan always gets angry with the laundry. She's like, did you leave this on the washing machine?
Yeah.
Yes, I did. And so she got angry with me. And kind of what I did was what she was saying, this pursuer was recommending. And I think I kind of saw you getting angry, but I had you come and hug me anyway. Yeah. That doesn't always work, though.
Yeah.
And so some of this, you kind of figure out trial and error. So, however, that's one way to stop the negative cycle. Here's the other way to stop the negative cycle. Sometimes pursuers, they have questions after an affair. They've been betrayed. They have questions. They want answers. They are really hurt. And so it's not always a good idea for them to hold these questions back and dwell on them and think about them, because if we bury hard feelings, what happens to them?
They eat us alive.
They eat us alive, but out can come a bigger negative cycle, than a harder to manage negative cycle than what we needed. And so what this couple decided on, and what he said, you know what, it's totally okay to come to me as you have these questions, as they build. And what I liked about his answer is he was saying, I'm an open door. I'm here for you. I'm a shoulder for you to lean on. And so, you know what, I would say virtually anybody who got caught in an affair, or who was a betrayer or involved in an affair, would say, I would rather you come to me when it's kind of a smaller issue than when it's a bigger issue. Because when it's a bigger issue, there's an explosion in our negative cycle. There's anger that I find it really hard to not withdraw from and get defensive about. So what I need you to do is I need you to come to me when it's more of a small problem, when it's more manageable, and I won't turn you away. And so these are two things I want you guys to think about. I want you to do, because they're going to help you work through the negative cycle. They're going to help you heal. And here's the other kicker. If you can get through this part, the honesty is really important, but this is also really important because it makes everything else so much easier to discuss, makes working on the marriage so much easier, it makes everything else easier. So if you can get through that part, the rest is, I don't want to simplify it, but it's a lot easier.
So getting out of the negative cycle. And these are two ways you can do that. Being vulnerable, showing your heart, being able to kind of not take no for an answer.
Yeah, all that.
And lean in.
Yeah, absolutely. We have got to get off here. We're doing this during our son's nap time, and it's almost over. I know this was really short. I wanted to leave you with those two ideas. If you've enjoyed our podcast, please leave us a positive review if you've enjoyed our podcast.
If you haven't, it's okay to let us know. But just do it in an email.
Email us.
Email us.
But most people like our podcast, and that's okay. So if you've enjoyed us, please leave us a review. Also, we're kind of changing things up a little bit. I'm making an announcement without really discussing it first. So don't listen to me always about marriage stuff.
No, you can. It's okay.
I'm not. But anyway,
he knows more.
We're going to be changing things where you guys can still come in and work with us one-on-one in the day retreat, but we're going to change things where you can also work with us weekly. So we're going to be changing things where you can work with me weekly, a member of our team weekly, and wanted to let you know about that. So if you want to inquire, you can. And what should they do if they want to inquire more?
If you'll go to healingbrokentrust.com, healingbrokentrust.com, that's where you can find resources, but also you can book a 2-hour appointment instead of a 7-hour appointment, or you can do the retreat, the intensive retreat. If you so wish to do that, you can. But you can also do a coaching call or come in physically for 2 hours if that is
or virtual. That's what we're expanding now. It's not, you don't have to come in. We're doing it virtually now.
That's right. You don't have to
anywhere
come
you're
in.
at, you don't have to leave, and you don't have to travel, and you have to pay for that.
Right.
And so you can just stay home. We're going to do it virtually. That's what we're opening up, and you'll hear more about it from us. But if you're really wanting to start now, we can figure out something and get that for you.
It's actually already set up. I set it up today.
Okay. Well, good. I don't want to make the whole podcast about that. Here's the kicker. In summary, there's tips. These are some tips on getting out of the negative cycle. The key is slowing down. The big key, what I mean by slowing down is not letting our tendency to shut down get the best of us. Stopping, taking some deep breaths, controlling what's happening inside of us physically just by taking deep breaths, regulating our emotions, and also regulate our emotions, not just to avoid shutting down, but regulate our emotions to not let anger get the best of us. That's going to be really hard, though, when we've been traumatized. And so these two tips that we said, again, just go through the third and final time, is as the withdrawer, if you can kind of figuratively just grab the pursuer, figuratively shake the pursuer and say, hey, stop this. Just let me hold you, and do that from an assertive way without anger, but from a place of compassion and empathy. That will really resonate with the pursuer. and just say, you know, I want you here. I need you here. Don't take no for an answer. Just keep, because I want to say this, you know, like when people are hurt, our tendency when we're hurting is to push people away.
Right.
Our desire for connection hasn't gone away, but the pursuer the injured party will probably push you away, but they're going to do this, stiff arm you, but they're going to be waving you over. And what they're saying is, and what this person said is, don't take no for an answer. Keep coming. Even if I stiff arm you, still be assertive, still be gentle, still be, do that.
Yeah.
So sometimes avoiders have a hard time doing that, or the ones who are involved have a hard time doing that because they think, oh my goodness, if I do that, I'm going to make things worse. That's not always the case. And I wouldn't say that's not always the case. I don't think that's really that likely, because when you're persistent and you lean in, you are showing, you know, I want to be here with you.
Yeah, I care.
I care.
You matter.
You matter. You're worth fighting for. I'm not shutting down. I'm being compassionate, but also saying, stay with me from a figurative place. The other kicker I would say is pursuers, when you come to the one who hurt you or injured party, when you come to the one who hurt you, watch your tone, speak from a deep place in your heart. Obviously, I know that's hard to do, but watch the tone, because when people hear tone, they stop. And then, you know, come to them when you have these questions, or come to them when you have these questions, or come to them when it's more or less kind of a smaller thing, instead of,
yes,
you know, the big explosion when the full triggers happened and the full meltdown has happened. It's just much easier to do.
Yeah, and it'll give you practice. It'll help you practice. Practice on the small things, not on the big things, because the big things are challenging if you start there.
And here's the kicker: you can do it. You can do this. And I have people all the time who are like shocked that I think they can do it when I work with them, and they're shocked that they did it.
Yeah.
Just recently had another couple where when they started therapy, the wife was like totally against it, totally like, let's last resort situation. And she met with her recently, raving fan, loved it, doing great. Of course, I know that, you know, but people don't always know that.
Yeah, sometimes
that's you though. That's you guys, you know, listening, watching this. You guys can do it. Frankly, honestly, I'm shocked when people can't do it.
Mm-hmm.
There are some situations where people can't, but it's few and far between. And you know, unless it's like a life-threatening injury where you think your life is in danger, there's a very good chance that you guys are going to work through it. That's a harder issue. Obviously, deception is hard. You know, them falling in love with the other person is hard.
Yeah.
You guys can do it, though. And so last time I'll say this, that's why we're opening up. We're going to be opening up where you can work with us virtually, and you don't necessarily have to travel to work with us.
Right.
And so if you want to work with me, a member of our team, that'll be opening up. But anyway, that's all I'm going to say about that, because we're going to be done. And I don't want to make this just a commercial. I want to give you guys valuable content. So hopefully we'll be back soon. And thank you for your time.
All you have to do is go to healingbrokentrust.com and get started. And we'll talk to you next week, or hopefully soon.
Yeah, we'll see you guys soon.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Bye.